That's how I saw my nation. Okay? And that's what compelled me to even dive even further. Because right now, the majority of our people are going to be destroyed.
So you can check with
are going to die, man. The scripture says, all the sinners of my people
I'll try it because the
shall
battery's
die,
going
man.
so. Let me give it a charger.
Alright?
That's your life, brother. Good
Live now. Alright? The scripture says, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword. Alright? Who are the sinners of our people? 2/3 of our nation. So-called blacks and Latinos, Hispanics. Who are really the Israelites. Yashala wa Yahweh. Okay, Yashala meaning Israel, Wa and Judah. Yahweh. Alright? That's Hebrew language. Okay? Majority of our people are gonna die. Your loved ones, your children, your mothers, your fathers, your aunties, your uncles. Simply because they refuse to turn back to the truth of the Bible in sincerity and in faith, knowing that a new heaven and a new earth is coming for us, man, and our nation and our great nation. Okay? And because they believe not the words spoken by the prophets you see out here in the highways and byways, which, Lord willing, we are of that number. They refuse to believe our words, man. And they scorn. The scriptures say that scorners delight and they're scorning, and fools hate knowledge, man. Okay? It's a very serious thing that the majority of our people are doing when they walk past us. The scriptures say that the turning away of the sinful shall slay them. Okay? It's a very deep thing when you walk past the camp without acknowledging and confessing, our words as being truth. As a very big thing that you're doing upon yourself, man. You're condemning yourself when you do that. The Most High set us out here as a sign to the masses of our nation, okay, which are scattered among the other nations, and that you see physically looking as Jews, as Israelites. You see them walking around. We are a sign unto them. We are to let them know that the Most High is reaching out unto you. Okay? The Most High's Spirit is being poured out into the streets of Babylon. Before your eyes, man. Before your very eyes. The Most High is speaking unto you through us. As the scriptures say, the Most High will do nothing, but He reveals His secrets unto His servants, the prophets. Okay? So right out here, we are revealing secrets and the parables and the mysteries of these scriptures to our nation. But they were none of it reproof. They were none of it. Okay? So we have any scriptures?
Yeah. Right. This is Matthew chapter 10, verse 28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell.
See, because being a man of the Lord is a very rebellious position and a role to take on. The scripture says that we should not fear them that have the power over the body, that's able to destroy us in the flesh. So therefore, a man of the Lord is not subject to the physical. He's not intimidated or in fear, okay, of anything that's out here in the physical world, okay? He's not, how can I say, he's not influenced, okay, by his surroundings. Hold on. Let me just okay? Being a man of the Lord, like I said, is a very rebellious role to play, man. Okay?
Who spoke first?
Because he's not influenced or subject to anything that's out here. He's only influenced and subject to the ordinances of the one who he believes in, which is the great spirit himself, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay? That there's nothing out here that can sway us from what we believe in. Because we don't fear man. We don't fear man who has the power to destroy us in the flesh. We don't fear that because we fear the Most High rather than man. We fear his judgment. We fear being rejected by the Most High than being rejected by a mere man. We care about being rejected by a mere man. Okay? A mere man is not going to confirm my salvation in the kingdom. I personally fear being rejected by the Most High. That would be the worst thing for me. Okay? Okay, for the Most High to condemn me as being a wicked soul. I find that a more frightening thing than a mere man condemning me for being out here in the streets, saying, oh, you cracker, you don't want slavery, you know what I'm saying? Which is righteous. Which is righteous, man. So we're meant to fear him to have power to destroy the soul, rather than him to have power to destroy the body and the flesh, man. Alright? So pretty much, we hold power, man. There's nothing in this world that can put us down, man. Okay? Or can sway us. We're not in need, we're not in want or in need of anything. Alright? You understand what I'm saying? That's right, so go ahead.
2 Timothy 1:7 says,
Go ahead, sir.
for Yahweh hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind.
A sound mind. You know where we have a sound mind? Because of faith, man. Because we strongly believe in the things that we teach. We're not out here with doubt. And if brothers do have doubt, you gotta try and rebuke that spirit or pray. You have to be grounded and settled in what you believe in, and that's what creates and develops that sound mind. You know, you're not in need or in want to. Why? Because you believe in that you livers and that you are. Or you believe in the time of righteousness.
No, what happened there?
You believe and experience eternal glory and eternal salvation. Okay? Eternal joy and happiness, man. Alright? An eternal structure and eternal kingdom and eternal society of our nation. Well, where there will be no limits to our growth as a nation. We'll keep on growing to beyond perfection. Okay? Alright? And this earth will reflect the image of the spirit world. Order and righteousness. Okay? And perfection. And order. Law, commandments, and holiness. Alright? As it is in heaven, so shall it be on the earth. Alright? And because we believe in that, we have that sound mind. Okay? So the scriptures say, what did it say? It said, ready.
For Yahweh hath not given us the spirit of fear,
Right.
but of power and of love and of a sound mind.
Right. Because our power is the knowledge of these scriptures, man. We don't have no other power. We don't have no other power. You know what I'm saying? Our power, our strength is the scriptures, is the words of our Father in heaven. That is the source of our power that we have right now. In the end, we're going to get that spiritual power. Yes, we're going to get that physical, spiritual power and all them other powers, man. But our main power right here is of a spiritual sense. As a scripture say, weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but are spiritual through the putting down of strongholds. Roughly paraphrasing. Okay? So when we come out here, to no surprise, anybody that come up here with their nonsense, so when they come up here, we slice and dice them through the sword right here. Alright? Okay? But the Most High, give us the spirit to fear what man can do. Because we know all these people, you see these heathens walking around, we don't know if they're Hebrew, it could be some of them in Israelites, right? But you know that these heathens you see walking around, they're going to be destroyed at the point of slavery. Or both. They're going to be destroyed and then come back in the reincarnation and then point of slavery. You know? You know what I'm saying? So we know the future for everybody that's out here. You know? And we pray that the Lord have mercy on us. Go ahead.
It's Ephesians 6 and 10, and it says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might.
So be strong, my brethren, be strong in Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and in the power of his might. All right, go ahead.
It says, put on the whole armor of the Most High.
Put on the whole armor of the Most High. Go ahead.
That ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
That you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil, the wicked one. Now, that's in the physical and spiritual sense. I'm talking about the devil, I mean. Because you have the spiritual demon Satan, and then you have Esau, the so-called white man, with his devices, man. Okay? Trying to distort the truth that we're speaking. Trying to distort our mind, trying to deceive us, as the scriptures say, let no man deceive you by any means. Any man, meaning the main deceiver that's out here, is Esau, man. And the false prophet, which is run by Esau. So we have to be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. His might is these scriptures. Okay, his word. So we have to be strong in the word. That's Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, talking about being grounded and settled. Alright? Because when you're grounded and settled, no matter how much the wind blows and the sea storm, you're rooted, your roots dig deep into the earth, man. As the parable of the sower. The sower went out to sow. And in the first, I believe, 3 instances, you know, the seed was taken out of the frame, basically. On the 4th instant, the seed went into the earth, and some brought forth 60-fold, 40-fold, and so forth and so on. And it became a great tree and so forth and so on. Roughly paraphrasing. But that's how we have to be in the Lord. Grounded and settled. Why? Because everything out here, Satan comes in many different forms, bro. The spiritual demon Satan comes in different forms. You saw what happened to Job, right? Satan came in all kind of forms. Satan came in the wind, destroyed his house and killed all his children, man. Satan came on the Canaanites and took away all his cattle. Satan came with his wife, man. Came in the form of a woman. All right? And told him, listen, man, just curse the Most High and go and die, man. And then Satan came in the form of a skin disease. So Satan can come in different ways, man. All right? So we have to be strong and rooted and settled, because Satan will come in all kind of ways to try and test your faith and test your integrity by tempting you. All right? Go ahead.
And it says, verse 12, it says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood.
So we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Go ahead.
But against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world.
Okay, so against principalities of darkness and of the powers of this world. Roughly paraphrasing, right? So we're not wrestling against man. We're not trying to fight no battles of physical sword. Trying to wield a sword and shield, and you know, that's why I say talk about the helmet of salvation and all them things there. So we're not putting on an actual physical helmet like during the time of King David, going out to war against the Philistines and the enemies of our nation. All right, we're going against the enemies of our nation with the spiritual sword, the spiritual helmet, the spiritual armor. All right, because we're wrestling against the principle, the wickedness, the unseen forces of this world, man. You know, wickedness sitting in dark places, man. That's what we're warring against. Warring against spirits that are attacking our minds out here, man. Because Esau, he's all about his witchcraft, man. Using his different media outlets to try and pervert our minds into a sodomite faggot way, man. Okay? Trying to pervert our minds into basically worshipping the image of this system. Okay? And the scriptures say that loving this world is at enmity with the Most High, man. So we're commanded not to be doing that. Okay? Not to worship or hold this place in high reverence. And rather to hold reverence the word of Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
And it says, against wickedness in high places.
Right.
Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day.
Right, so that's See, that's beautiful, man. The scriptures say, take on the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to stand in that day, man. In that work, say that again.
And it says, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High.
Right, start right there. So take unto you the whole armor. Not parts of the armor. Not just the helmet. Don't just run out to the battlefield with your sword. So if that arrow hits you, what are you gonna do then? You know what I'm saying? What are you gonna do then? Yeah, because you're an Israelite, man. You're the tribe, people. Okay? So a lot of our people, they think that they're Africans, or they think that they're black. Okay? When you look at us, there's nothing black about us, except the clothes that you're wearing. Okay? So it said, take on the whole armor, right? Right, because there's guys out there, you only want to take out the parts that sound nice, but you don't want to take on the rape issue. I know guys out there, especially guys with IUIC, you got a problem with the rape issue. Or you GMS guys, you're rapists. That's a false accusation first and foremost. There's no testimony from anybody in the media that said that, oh, guys who this black group, the Israelite group, are going around town raping women because they believe it's in the Bible. They reference Deuteronomy 22, verse 22, you know. There's no fucking news report saying that we do that. Okay? Alright? That's just them being demons, man. And making false accusations. And the scriptures talk about that. So what are you trying to say? You're trying to say that the perfect law of the Most High covers every aspect of life except rape? Except rape? So say if somebody else rapes somebody, what are you going to do about it? Seeing as IUIC, saying you're all about the law, what are you going to do when you find that that a man raped a woman that not betrothed to no one, she's a virgin, okay, and she's a damsel? What are you going to do about that? Are you going to put that guy to death? Is that scriptural? Because if it isn't, then you're in trouble. But that's called murder. Alright? So scriptures talk about taking on the whole armor, meaning taking on sweet with the bitter. Do you guys go to church? Come guys.
Okay, fine.
And it says, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand.
And having done all to stand, man. Meaning what? Being out here in the highways and byways, man. Okay? You know, trying to keep the Lord to the best of your ability. Okay? Alright? Not doing wickedness to brothers. Holding your positions in the camp. Alright? Not despising government in the camp. Okay? Doing what the scriptures say, walking in the ways of the scriptures, man. That's why I said, doing all that you may be able to stand. Alright? That you may be spotless, a lamb without blemish before the judgment seat, man. Do you believe in the Bible?
I'm open. Right now. Yeah, I'm a bit
Hey,
open.
is it okay if I take a picture of that?
Yeah, take a
thank you,
picture
man.
of it, yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Send it to me. It's interesting.
I do believe in the Bible. Okay. Absolutely.
Yeah. So according to the truth of the Bible, we're here teaching the truth of the Bible. You find out the true Jews, the chosen people of God. It's us. It wasn't the people you see in Israel today with the Abraham Lincoln outfit. It wasn't them. They're imposters, they're converts. Okay? A key figure here is a man called Chagan Bullock, who was the king of the Khazars, alright, during the 1700s, was it 7th century?
700 AD, around that time.
Right. They go back to a people called the Khazars. That's who they are. If you research a people called the Khazarian Empire, that's who they are. Alright? They're not the real Jews. The word Jew is short for Judah. Alright? So when I say I'm a Jew, I'm saying I'm a Judite. I go back to a man, my ancestor is a man called Judah, he was one of the sons of a man called Israel or Jacob. Alright? So that's what I'm saying when I'm saying I'm a Judite. Alright? So these people are the real Jews, the so-called blacks that were taken as slaves. West Africans, so-called, that's what they're called. But that's not who they actually are. They're not black people. That's a color. No one's purple, no one's yellow, no one's green. Alright? And clearly we're not black, we're all dark skinned. Everybody's really black in that sense. Alright? Because we all got melanin. Alright? But there's different kinds of black people. You know, you've got East Indian people, then you've got Chinese people. The only people that are not melanated are so-called Caucasian people, who are Edomites. They are the children of a man called Esau. Okay? Right, so we are the Israelites, the people of West Africa, the indigenous people of North, Central, and South America. They're also our brothers and sisters, but there's of different tribes. But we all formulate, we're all of one nation of people. And the scriptures is our historical record book, a book of our laws and commandments that our people once had, long time, thousands of years ago. Okay? Which book is this? This is the King James Bible, King James. We became a holy nation after we exited Egypt. We were slaves in Egypt underneath the ancient Egyptians, who today are the people of Sudan. The tall, dark skin, long arms. Those are the real Egyptians, the pharaohs, the people you see in the hieroglyphics. We were slaves for them. Okay? The so-called white man Israel, he was no slave in Egypt 3,500 years ago. He was no slave. That wasn't him. Okay, they're not the real Jews, they're not the holy people that the Bible speaks of.
Who are these people? Who are these people?
Who are these people? These people are Khazarians. Khazar Empire. They're really Edomites, children of Esau. That's who they are. Alright?
Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. I know, and this is the man who Jesus
What's I
Christ.
watching? In the second comment now. It's gonna come up like last time.
I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
Remember what happened
So
last
the
time? You can see the
scriptures say
comments
that red letter. So this is the Lord Jesus Christ speaking. He says, I know our works and our poverty. Right? But he said that we are rich. So how can we be rich and in poverty at the same time? We're rich because we have wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's what we're rich with.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
Right, so that's what they're about. And you have a man called Arthur Koestler, he wrote a book. He's a so-called Jew himself, the Jewish man himself. And he wrote a book about his own people, exposing his own people, saying that if they're Jews, then there must be a 13th tribe. But there's only 12 tribes. So if they're Jews, then there must be an extra tribe. Because they're not the real Jews. The real Jews is us.
But it wasn't adding up. After he done the research, it wasn't adding up. Like he tried to trace down his line to see if it's gonna come to these people or to the like based on the historical records, and he found out that his people were coming from a different group of people altogether.
Right.
He wasn't coming to the people that are based around the scriptures.
Right.
That's why he said this. If these people are the real Israelites, it has to be a 13th tribe.
Yeah.
Because these people now, who call themselves Jews now, do not, their line does not go back to the people of the Bible.
Right. Right.
Well, why do these people call themselves Jew? Like, what is their benefit in that?
Well, because like when you guys been going to the history of it, basically during the time of the 7th century, the Khazarians, they were in a filthy state. They were living at the Caucasus Mountains. They were living around them regions there, you know, the Caucasus Mountains. When researching, these people were in a very filthy state. So they needed like a religion, some type of culture that would clean their people up. So what they did was they knew about the Jews, and our ways is more about cleanliness, holiness. They took on our ways. They conformed so much to the point where they told us that they were the Jews. Right?
because they were like a base people, and everybody would go and grab them to use them for war. So they needed a religion that was neutral, because if they converted to Christianity, then they would have to fight against the Muslims. If they converted to Islam, they would have to fight against the Christians. So they needed a religion that was in between, and that's why they took up Judaism there.
Can I ask you about this border? Sorry.
Sorry, yeah.
So you said 12 tribes of Israel, and we have all these names, and we have different people from different origins. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, so it said Judah. We found out the Jews are actually so-called blacks. Now we can get on Jeremiah 14 and 2. How can we prove that Judah is this, that we're not just making it up? Now we use our Bible as our reference point. And then somebody give me Lamentations chapter 5 verse 10. 5 verse 10.
42, yeah?
So did you know that the Bible? Did you know that the Bible itself describes the physical appearance of the Jews? Go ahead. I'll show it to you.
So they all resemble these. So the physical appearance that you're talking about, they all resemble these people.
But they were dark-skinned people.
Okay, all of them.
Yeah, they were dark-skinned people. Now we're about to read it. Now the scripture don't say West Indian and Haitian.
Yeah.
It doesn't say that.
So how do you figure that out?
Exactly. So the Bible is a spiritual book. So in order to understand a spiritual book, you have to have like a deep insight, like a spiritual approach.
So how do you connect the...
We're gonna show you.
Okay.
And then give me Deuteronomy 28 verse 16.
Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 2. Judah mourneth.
So Judah, they're mourning. Jeremiah speaking. He was on the scene during the time of ancient Babylon. Go ahead.
And the gates thereof languish.
So the gates thereof languish. What does that mean? Meaning our defenses have been brought down. Okay, we are defenseless as a people. Go ahead.
They are black unto the ground.
They are black unto the ground. Now this is the Old Testament, right? Now when you translate that word black into the Hebrew, the word there is dark skin, kodah, which means dark skin. So now the Jews say that the Torah is for them in Israel today, but they're not dark skinned, so it can't be referring to them. It's not describing them. So let's read this now.
It's Lamentations 5. As from 1, it says, "Remember, O Lord, what is come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach."
Right, go ahead.
It says, "Our inheritance is turned to strangers,
Right.
our houses to aliens.
Go ahead.
We are orphans and fatherless, our mothers are widows."
Right, our mothers are widows. Go ahead.
It says, "We have drunken our water for money,
Go ahead.
our wood is sold unto us."
Right.
It says, "Our necks are under persecution.
Right.
We labor and have no rest."
Now, when you think of a people that's under this type of condition, obviously Jeremiah was speaking about his people back then, during the time of ancient Babylon. But in the world, a people that's like that, that resembles that type of condition, that would be us. Go ahead, though.
It says, "We have given the hand to the Egyptians and the hand to the Assyrian to be satisfied with bread."
Get to the point.
Verse 10, it says, "Our skin was black like an oven because of the terrible famine."
Scripture says our skin was black like an oven because of the terrible famine. Now, if any people, dark-skinned people, go through famine, your melanin gets darker. Now, if you're a so-called white man, you don't have no melanin, and you go through famine, you get paler. So this scripture says our skin got even darker because of the famine we were going through. So obviously that doesn't describe, that's not talking about the so-called white man, that's not you in Israel. That's talking about dark-skinned people. So who is that? Let's get even deeper now. So we know the fact that these people, these Jews, are melanated people, are dark-skinned people, right? So let's go to Deuteronomy 28 verse 68. Okay, because if you know anything about the Torah, it tells you that for breaking the covenants, the Most High God created a covenant with his chosen people, right? With the Jews, right? The Israelites. And punishment for breaking that covenant would be that curses would come upon these people. All these people, curses would come upon them for disobedience. Now we're going to read one of those curses.
Right, Deuteronomy 28, 68. Or 64,
You know why people do have melanin, we just don't have as much.
Pardon?
Well, why we do have melanin, we just don't have as much.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a medical fact. I double checked it before I said.
Where's melanin is brown?
No, melanin is it's not a colour.
But the more melanin you have, the more dark you are.
So where's melanin is brown?
It's like in the sun, I go brown. That's melanin.
No, that's a tan.
That's a tan.
Melanin is in your.
That
your
is
skin
the
cells.
melanin that you're seeing. It's a tan.
No. The melanin is in your skin cells. Your tan is
alright,
your
dude.
skin gets dark from the heat of the sun.
That's you getting red or going orange. That's not melanin.
You can't get melanin from the sun.
Melanin is brown.
No. The melanin is in my body.
What's your point though?
Well,
You've got melanin because your eyes have colour in it, so you have melanin.
look, my point is not that I'm disagreeing. I'm listening. I'm trying to contribute. I'm not trying to cut you guys off.
No, we understand.
It's not the first. I want to hear what you're saying.
Okay.
I'm open.
Deuteronomy 28 and 68, it says,
Like I said, this is one of the main curses that we bring out.
Yeah.
That confirms the fact
two batteries.
that the Jews or the Israelites were people of West African type.
I got two. I used up two.
Descendants of the slaves, or anybody that descends from that species of people.
and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies, bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies, for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
You hear that? You hear it?
See the explanation.
Read it again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again.
He said, the way whereof that I spake unto you, talking about the land of Israel, talking about, see this land, the land of Israel, you're not going to see that no more again. Now I'm going to take you into Egypt by ships, by cargo slave ships. And if you know of the people that were collectively as a people, were put on hundreds of slave ships and taken and transported to another country. Now read on.
There ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
It said that we will be sold unto our enemies for both bondman and bondwomen. Now, show them
Deuteronomy 28, 48.
okay, yeah, right. 48. So that's one of the main precepts. So you're thinking about dark-skinned people that were put on ships and transported to another continent by their enemies and sold, both man and woman. So if you think about any time in history where that's happened to a people, to a dark-skinned people, we would have to fit that description. All right? Now you're not going to see the word African in the Bible or Jamaica. You're not going to see that. But by putting the precept together, we would fit that description. Like I said, we're looking at dark-skinned people who fit these descriptions. These people, these Jews that the Bible speaks of, that for disobedience against God's laws and commandments, that they will be brought into slavery again by the way of slave ships. In the land of their enemies, they will be sold, one man and one. This is talking about us now. If you got any more, please.
Deuteronomy 28:48.
Say the same chapter.
This therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee.
A yoke of iron upon our neck. So you have to understand the prophets. Moses prophesied of a time. He visualized this. When he was up in Mount Sinai, I'm pretty sure you might know the story of how he went to Mount Sinai for 40 days and 40 nights. And he received the laws and commandments that he would later on give to the children of Israel, right? When he came down after those 40 days and 40 nights, right? But while he was up there, he received visions about, he saw all these things taking place. He prophesied, listen, these things are going to come upon you because you disobeyed the laws and commandments. That a yoke of iron will be placed upon your neck All right.
I got a precept.
Thank
All
you.
kinds of other
God bless.
Just because if you don't know what's happening in America right now, there's a lot of police brutality, a lot of so-called black people that are getting killed, right? So this pertains to them also. So this is Deuteronomy again. It's in Deuteronomy 66. It says, "And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life." And it's a common story that so-called black men in America will often teach their young sons to be wary of police, because if anyone's going to get killed out there by them, it's going to be their young son, because there's like the scripture said, there's no assurance of life. You don't know what's going to happen to you. That's why often you see them running from the police, even when they've done nothing wrong, because they know in their spirit anything can happen to them.
Yeah, you could be unarmed. You don't have
Running
no
away
weapon.
with no weapon in the back.
They'll still kill you. So in America, in captivity that we're in right now, we're basically being preyed upon. Okay, we have no, like I said, our gates are languished. We have no defense. We have nothing to defend us. Okay.
I got a precept too. This is Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 14. It says, "See," verse 15. "See, I have set before thee this day life and good and death and evil. And that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy power, to walk in his ways and keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that thou mayest live and multiply, and that the Lord thy power shall bless thee in the land whether thou goest to possess it." That's not really what I wanted to get.
That's good though. That's good because
No, this is it right here, brother. This is it right here. It says, matter of fact, go on. Sorry.
yeah, because brother just brought out an interesting point. He said, "I present before you life and death, good and evil." So what does that mean? That means I'm going to present to you the law.
Verse 19. Verse 19.
So either live by this life, because if you refuse to break this covenant, break the laws that I give to you, you're basically choosing death. You're basically choosing evil. Because the laws that our God gave to us were righteous, or holiness. So that's represent life. So that's what I meant that I'm presenting to you right now, life and death. Choose life and you may live. Your children will prosper and become a great nation. And all these blessings will come upon you. But if you refuse to do that, that means death, you'll go into captivity, and all these curses will come upon you. Alright? And the reason why our people are in the condition that we're in right now at this day is because we broke the laws and commandments of our God. That's why we're looked down upon. That's why people call us niggers. That's why people say we're black, say we're Negroes and West Indians, Haitians, and Dominicans, and say all these things. Give us all these labels. This is what we really are. We're Israelites. We're the Jews.
And if I may add one thing as well, and and I can understand why, because we have to be real. I do understand why the world looks down on our people, because when you look at, when you listen to the music, which the music that's being put out nowadays, we're not all the originators of that kind of music, like hip hop music, all right, the gangster rap music. That's not really our culture. That has nothing to do with us whatsoever. But the world has blinded us, all right, or blinded, all of us put together to believe that that's our culture. But that has nothing to do with anything. The real culture of the so-called black man, so-called Latino Native American man, is by the Bible.
Right, it's holiness.
Right.
Our culture was holiness. All right, and the way we are now, Lords and Crips and gangs, that's not how we was in ancient times. That's not how we was.
Yeah.
And it's funny how, we was wicked, but this whole gangster stuff, that only came about when we interacted with those white people.
Yeah, basically, yeah. That's a very true statement. Yeah.
This whole gangster stuff, that only came about when we came upon the influence of those white people.
Right. And you know what, too?
Because when we tried to do good, because it was something called Black Wall Street, I don't know if you know about it. So we had our own, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No one knows about it.
Yeah.
No one knows about it. No one knows about it.
Because
the so-called white man, so don't really cut it.
Yo, go on, you got it.
Once upon a time during the early 1900s, we literally had our own community, we had our own society, our own economy within the United States of America.
Yeah.
It's called Black Wall Street. That's what I'm saying. I had to research it to find out about this No one ever told me why.
Yeah.
So this white man, he has control over media. He puts out there what he doesn't want to put out.
Yeah, he's right.
Yeah, it was.
And even prior to Wall Street, I believe it was in the 1800s, somewhere around that, there was a documentary on how you had a group of so-called Negroes, so-called, people of the tribe of Judah in America. What you had was you had a lot of, you had certain jakes that had banks of their own and that had their own communities. And this is going back in the mid 1800s. But you wouldn't know that because he saw so-called white man. What he does is anything that we did good, he'll block it from the media, and then anything bad, he'll portray that in the media.
That's because he wants us to look bad.
There's an example. There's an example right there, man. That's the real King James. But he's whitewashed.
Same with the president, like before.
Yeah, he had the first black president before George Washington. Yeah, many. Yeah, but no one knows that.
I think there was like 3 Prince was talking.
Yeah, Prince was talking about it.
Right. The point I'm trying to make is that our culture was holiness. That's why you see our people are very spiritual. They're always in churches.
Absolutely, I see that. I see that. I see that a lot.
Yeah.
We're very godly actually. At heart. This whole gangster. That's we've been influenced to be like that.
Because who created that? So-called Jews. The so-called Jews or the Jewish people, they run the music industry.
Right. They run it right. They run the music right.
Right. So if they run the music industry, they're gonna be able to tell and dictate the rappers, look, rapping like this, put this on, put that on. Yeah. So it's not really us, really.
Wear a dress.
Wear a dress.
Wear a dress.
Yeah.
Same with Hollywood. In the 90s, they primed our minds to be against Muslims. True Lies, that was one film. Rules of Engagement, all about Islamic terrorism. So, 2001 comes along, Bin Laden, that story, now you swallow it. Because your mind's already been,
Manipulated.
you've been programmed to accept those kind of messages.
And that's why, what I'm saying, the whole world, thinks that, look at them, they're this, they're that. You don't understand, we've been, so-called white man has been attacking our minds, has been working on our minds for a very long time.
Yeah. And that's why we're the way we are.
Slavery wasn't just a physical thing, it was a mental thing and a spiritual thing. He was attacking our minds and attacking the spirit of our people. That's how you control the people. That's how you can make them perpetual slaves. Not just by physically beating them, but beating them to the point where it's affecting their mind and their morale as a nation. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happened to us, to the point where it's almost like we worship the white man. This image.
True, man. They love this man.
This image, we worship this image. It's a very powerful, it's a very simple image, but it's a very powerful image, and it's in the hearts and minds of our people, to the point where our people, we bleach our skin, all right, we try to straighten out our hair, okay, we disrespect our own features, our hair and the broadness of our noses, and the darkness of our complexion. Because we've been taught to think that being dark is of a negative thing, of a negative nature. Because it represents immorality, dirtiness, and cleanness, and all of that sort. And being white, being white is pure. It represents innocence, morality, and everything like that. Which in the Bible, when you go into the Bible, to look, having lack of melanin was considered leprosy. Something that was looked down on. That a darker you was seen as being more divine, closer to divinity.
Why would that be?
Right.
I mean, why would our religion would say that being darker is better than being lighter?
Yeah, because everybody has melanin. That's the thing. Like if in the ancient world, if you was considered to have no melanin, people thought that you was cursed, like spirits or something like that. You were cursed.
So this is in the Bible. You said being darker is more divine.
We can get the story about Miriam, Numbers 13.
Something. Like what country are you from, you guys?
I'm from Pakistan.
Pakistan. See, like countries like India, Pakistan, you see like your movie stars, it's always the ones that, because your country, like a big majority of the population are very dark skinned. Pakistan,
Bollywood, yeah.
Look at movie like Bollywood, like your stars, the women, the men, It's always the ones that are light shades, very light
I mean,
skin,
that's
and they look
again-
more European, local. Like for example, like your religion, you supposed to have a beard on your face most likely. Like Hindu, you're supposed to have long hair, a beard on your face, but you got a Western look. You cut your hair short, you clean shave it, you wear a suit. You wear a suit because the white man does not copy your style, you copy his.
I would say I'm me, man. I don't copy anybody.
If they do, it's more of like a tourist thing. They come to your country, now they turn out, let's do this, like while we're here, celebrate that culture. And then go back again to normal. But you copy theirs, you copy what they do. Clean shave, cut your hair.
When in Rome, live like the Romans.
You will be clean shaven, you will be wearing a suit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but even karate is different now.
You're not gonna go in a UN meeting wearing your traditional clothing. The Chinese don't go in a UN meeting wearing their traditional clothing. They take all that off, leave them at home. They clean shave, they wear a suit and tie, and then just like their master. Then they go before their master, and then they do whatever meeting they gotta go back to. And then maybe when they're in their own house, they take up their own culture and everything else. But everything
We're talking about
the Western culture.
We're talking about a religion, differentiating between darker and lighter skin. You said that in the Bible it says that the lighter skin is more preferable over the darker one.
What I'm trying to say is the tables have been turned. Seeing as the Edomites, or the so-called white race, come into power, they distorted the truth and turned the
I
truth
get that
into a
part.
lie.
Yeah, I get that part, but I understand everything you said. But I'm just saying, like, our religion should be neutral, right? It should be neutral. Our religion should be neutral.
Like everyone the same.
Everybody says everybody brothers and sisters.
Our religion cannot say that.
We're not the same. That we're not religion, but this is not religion. This is truth. Like the Bible has got nothing to do with religion. It's not something to believe in. Like we've all been led to believe that the Bible is nothing else is more further from the truth from that. The Bible is our historical record book. That's the truth of it. The white man took our records and turned it into a global religion. The Roman Catholic Church turned it into a global religion that everybody on the planet can join. That's not that the churches, these are all lies. We're out here to tell you the truth of the Bible. We're here to tell you that this is the historical record book of our nation. A book of prophecy. Okay? Book
Could you
of
tell
our
me
culture.
where does it say that the darker skin is preferable?
Well, we're going to show you.
But even like I've read the Bible. I've not read the Quran book, but that's why I said I'm open because I'm not going to learn more to make a decision. But I believe one God. One God. But what I looked at was
Last time there was a
Yeah. You're gonna see stuff in a minute. You're gonna come up.
2000.
the Bible. You know England, Old Testament, New Testament. Before this Bible came to us as it is now, there's actually about 2,000 books of the Bible. And they've chosen certain parts to make the New Testament. And they've taken out a lot of parts. Look, that's how
Where's your proof?
on the internet, if you look at just look at that.
Well, you have to give us a website.
Because see, I looked at this, but then I thought, there's so many different religions. What I thought in simple explain is God did lots of different areas, different places, in different forms, and they make people different. And in the Bible, it also says there are like four parts.
I think somewhat Revelations. You know, the four angels, four horsemen.
Like black people, white people, Chinese people, and Indian people. So, and it's from my mind's out of it right now. I've not looked at it. And I don't know about it.
Basically, what we're teaching according to our Bible is that God hasn't chosen you. He didn't choose everyone. So that's what we have to clarify here. That God discriminates. He says, listen, I'm going to have these people to rule over the rest of them. And that's the way it's always been in the world. Mankind has always fought to be on top and have everyone else serve in his kingdom. That's the way it's always, that's reality. That's the truth. I mean, the idea of us all being equal, that's of the mind of some guy. It's not, show me the kingdom on earth where all people are just been the same,
Right.
and all enjoyed the luxuries, but the same, we're all on the same class level, all equal. It doesn't, it's never existed. And guess what? It never will. It never will exist. It's just, it always will remain as a fairy tale fantasy.
You tell me, the purest form of a human being is when he's a baby.
Right.
He doesn't know anything.
Right.
He just comes into this world for example.
And the one, if I may add in, because you know your people at one time, you were actually ruling the world at one time. During the time of the Persians. Are you familiar with the Persians? The Persian Empire?
Yeah.
That was your people. So your people were the superior race at one time. And you had everything on lockdown. Okay, for a certain period of time. And then you also had was the you had the Greeks that came into power later on. Okay, but all of the races had a part. Because the Lord was fair. You know, he made sure that the other nations ruled and had their time to rule. But at the end of it all, after the nations rule and they fulfill their time, then the Lord is going to set up the nation of Israel in rulership for everlasting, because that all goes back to the covenant.
Hey,
that's all I
we're
wanted
gonna
to
get
say.
that numbers. We're gonna get that number scripture.
But yeah, brother, can you read this real quick? 'Cause this is actually a point. You got it, brother.
Second Ezra 5 and 22. I'll start from. It says, "And my soul recovered
You got it.
the spirit of understanding, and I began to talk with the Most High again, and said, O Lord, that bearest rule of every wood of the earth, and of all the trees thereof, thou hast chosen the only one only vine, and of all the lands of the whole world, thou hast chosen the one pit."
Right, so it said, of all the trees, God has one special tree, that's the olive tree. Right, and now what?
And of all the lands of the whole world, thou hast chosen the one pit.
So all the lands of the whole world, the Most High has one favorite land. That's the land of Israel that they're fighting over right now. Okay, Palestine or whatever.
And of all the flowers thereof, one lily.
So that's God's chosen plant. His chosen flower is the lily.
And of all the depths of the sea, thou hast filled the one river.
So the Most High's favorite river is the River Jordan.
And of all builded cities, thou hast hallowed Zion unto thyself.
Right.
And of all the fowls that are created, thou hast named thee one dove.
Right.
And
The dove is the Most High's favorite bird.
And of all the cattle that are made, thou hast provided thee one sheep.
Right. The sheep is God's favorite cattle bird.
And among all the multitudes of peoples, thou hast gotten thee one people. And unto this people whom thou lovest, thou gavest a law that is approved of all.
So I said, out of all the peoples of the world, the Lord chose one people. Okay, that people is these people. Out of all the, the Arabs, the Chinese, the East Indian peoples, the so-called Caucasian peoples, and different African type peoples, the Lord chose these people to be His special people above all others. All right, so there's no equality in there. There's no, like if you have a woman, you have different wives, right? You choose one over the rest of them. They're not all equal. You like one better than the rest of them. And you choose this woman to be over the rest of the women. They can get jealous, but that's just the way it is. That's the order that you've made. So that's the order that the Most High has made on the earth.
This was from Bible.
That was from the Apocrypha, which was originally in the...
So can you relate that in Bible?
Yeah. This is Deuteronomy 7 and 6. It says, "For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all the people that are upon the face of the earth."
So they can't get around it. There's no getting around it. That's one verse. That's one of many verses.
Because you said get it in the Bible, but this is the Bible. That's all the Bible.
What is this verse and all?
That's the Apocrypha.
Sorry?
The Apocrypha. The Apocrypha.
Well, you our thing is based upon faith. Because anybody
They
can
took that
make
out of the Bible.
say
Out of the Bible.
unless they can
They'll take a picture of
some
the
type
word.
of proof or something. Anybody can make that.
Which one?
The one that you have from the Bible.
You've got 1611 there, right?
What's that?
1611.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the Apocrypha.
Yeah, but...
Because see what they did was they took the what you call the Apocrypha out the Bible.
Yeah.
So when we pull out certain scriptures in the Apocrypha, it goes, you know, it goes with the Bible because it is the Bible.
Yeah. Well, obviously we know that we've read the scriptures about how the Jews are black and everything like that. But you was told that the Jews were white. So somebody's lying.
I know.
So we can agree on that somebody's lying.
I know a couple of the Jews, like many. I think they're also like wrong.
Yeah, but these, when we read about the scripture about slavery, how we put on slave ships, and then many of them being dark, when you put the precepts together, it would result in these people. It would point in the direction of these people. Now, so somebody's lying. Somebody's lying about the Bible. If we read it to you, that means we're telling the truth because we're reading it to you out of the Bible. And the people who are bringing this about, they're the ones that are lying. Okay? So the Bible must be a true book. That's why there's so much controversy about the Bible. The Bible is a book of truth. Because if it wasn't a book of controversy, no one would even be talking about the Bible, no one would be making movies about the Bible. It would be collecting dust at the back of a library somewhere. Alright, like an ordinary fairy tale. The reason why everyone's making such a big deal about the Bible and why there's so much like the ground. That's the truth. This is the truth we're bringing out. We brought out limited. There's other ones as well. There's many other ones. We also brought, bring out that numbers.
Joel 2 and 27 it says, and ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God, and none else, and my people shall never be ashamed.
I am in the midst of Israel. I'm not the God of any other people. I'm only the God of these people, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Right? So we're going to get that numbers one.
Yeah, this is Job 30, verse 30. I haven't read this in a long time. It says, my skin is black upon me, which the word there would be quadar, dark skin, and my bones are burned with heat.
So Job is a dark-skinned black man. Right? So that's even more. Like I said, the sacred, the holy book, referring to us, because originally, because the white man doesn't want us to know this. He wants the world to think we're niggas. There's nothing good can come of us, right? All we're doing is doing all kind of craziness on the screen, killing one another. These are crazy bug outs in the ghetto on drugs all the time. Who cares about them? But really, we're the chosen people. They want to be us. They want to claim our identity. They want to hide our identity from us, all right? And teach the world, oh, these niggas, they ain't nothing. These niggas, that's it. No, we are a holy people once upon a time. We were a covenanted people. All right? We are the great Spirit himself. All right? The great God himself. He's the God of our ancestors. The reason why we're such in a low condition is because we sinned against him. All right? We sinned, and over time, these curses came upon us over the centuries and over the millenniums. Curses came upon us to the point where we're in the condition that we're at now. All right?
Yeah, because and the reason why the media, going back to the media, the reason why the media continues to have our people in the state of mind that they're in, because who controls the media? The so-called Jews. They control the media. So being that they control the media and they pretty much run the earth, if they run the earth, they're gonna know everybody, their true nationality. So being that they know that we're the Jews, because they also know the scriptures too. The powers that be, they know the scriptures. And when you read, I believe it's in Kings, where it says, if all Israel repent back to the Most High and they pray before him, then the Lord will have to return. And they know this, and this is why these people are kept in the condition that they're in this society. This society has been constructed to keep these people low. Because if we wake up, all right, and get some kind of comfortability, we won't realize who we are, and we're going to pray to the Most High.
And it'll be the end of them. It'll be the end of the white man. That's why it's beneficial for him to keep us in the estate that we're in. Because it prolongs his rulership. You know, to hide our identity in the truth from us, to keep us in the messed up state we're in, hating ourselves, is beneficial for him. Right? It adds benefit, because why are you going to teach your slaves the truth? How's that benefiting you? What are you getting out of it? It's better that you have hold of their history and manipulate the history and tell them what you want to tell them, so they can be subject to you for as long as possible. But if they find out the truth, that's going to give them like a sense of power. And ultimately, according to they're afraid that the Bible is going to come to life. The words of the prophecy is going to come to life. of the Lord turning back our captivity and raising us up from the estate that we're in. They're afraid of that. The white man, the elites I'm talking about, not the average white man. I'm talking about the ones that run the society. They're afraid of the Bible. They're terrified of it. That's why it's been their aim for a very long time to pervert the truth of the Bible. You know?
How do we fix it? How do you fix it? I mean, how do you bring out the reality, and how do you think, what's the solution for this?
What's the solution? The solution is to us to do what we're doing until the scriptures talk about there being basically Jacob's trouble, the nuclear missiles hit this place and destroy this place, and us being saved in what the white man calls UFOs. According to the Bible, they call it clouds of heaven. Chariots. That's God's military. That's how he's coming to save us from all the lands that we've been scattered to. Those of our people that believe, which is only going to be like a handful of our people, 104,000 are going to be delivered from the earth, man. Okay? And then what's going to happen after this nuclear missile, this nuclear destruction, we're going to come back down and take over the earth, man. And that's going to be our eternal kingdom.
We're going to rule in righteousness and fairness.
Right. Right? Because the rulership to come is for us. All right? The world to come. All right? The system and enterprise to come, we're going to be ruling that one. Whether you believe it or not, you're going to be thinking, how the hell can these guys, they can't even rule their own selves, man.
No, I get it. Secondly, you talk about the 12 tribes of Israel.
Right.
But then again, that was like in 600 AD or 700 AD. When was that? Like, when was this thing? Like when people got smuggled out of Israel and put them into the ships, you know. So when did they actually got scattered? Like in 600 AD?
When did we start being scattered as a people?
Yeah. When did you guys actually come out of Israel?
When you want to know when we came out of Israel? That came like 70 AD.
70 AD.
That's when the
so
Romans.
Let's talk about 70 AD until now. It's been thousands of years gone, right? How can you know that these people are actually the correct and pure races that still live on this earth? I mean, they're all mixed, right?
So you're trying to figure out how can we know that we're the Israelites that live?
No.
That know.
Those were those people that you're talking about.
Yeah, we're
but
those.
Then when you're in the society, you know, you have mixed race children. You have people.
What's
No, he's saying because, you know, during a process of time, he's been scattered abroad, so the Israelites look different and all that.
As pure as you was there,
Right.
you've been.
Okay, yeah.
Integration and
But you know what? Though, I'm gonna answer that question. That's a good question.
Okay.
But the how you would really know the people of Israel, okay, even though they're mixed, is because they're under the same curses that we read to you. So,
Right.
So if they fit those curses, then they gotta be the seed of Israel,
Right.
because they do look different. You're gonna have Israelites looking like other nations. But if they're actually going through the same curses that obviously the prototype looking Israelites going through, the Israelites.
Yeah, because
You know?
like I said, you put cargo slave ships, right? We read that scripture. That one, you want to read it again? So get that one again. Deuteronomy 28. Certain people that resided in the west coast of Africa. Go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy 28 and 68, and it says, "And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships,
Egypt meaning bondage. Bring you into bondage with ships. So,
by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again."
yeah, because the Lord spoke to us of a land of our own, the land of Israel. We're not going to see that land anymore again. Yeah.
"And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen,
Right,
and no man
auction
shall
blocks.
buy you."
Exactly. So there we shall be sold to our enemies for bondman and bondwomen after we've just been taken as slaves on ships, taken into bondage by ships. So when you, like I said, when you look into history, when has that ever happened to a people? When has that ever happened to a people? Did that happen to the Chinese? Did the Chinese ever experience a time when they were put on ships and sold bondman and bondwomen? It never happened to them. The East Indians, who else? The Arabs. It never happened to them.
East Indian. Oh, you've already said that.
Okay, it never happened. The Samoans or the Aborigines, it never happened to them. But we do know for a fact, everybody, this is common knowledge about the transatlantic slave trade. That's what that's referring to. So that's referring to a certain people. That's talking about the people of West Africa that were taken as slaves and put on auctioning blocks, all right? Sold to different plantations, with different slave masters, by the enemies, by people that were against them, by people that hated them, that lynched them from trees.
Because so-called Jews, you say, if you refer to that scripture to them, they'll tell you that was the Holocaust. Yeah. That Holocaust isn't true. That Holocaust isn't even to the effect of how we understand it today.
Right.
It didn't go down like that.
Right.
So they're not. Look, at the end of the day, like the prophet said, someone's lying, and they're not fitting anything in this book. So it can't be them.
It can't be them because they don't fit none of the descriptions that's in the Bible.
They run
Jews
the
being
earth.
black, their skin being black, them being put in cargo slave ships, them being having a yoke around their neck. It doesn't fit any of that. Okay? And first and foremost, the scriptures say that when the Israelites and the Jews regain that land, there will be peace on earth.
No more war.
I'm pretty sure we're aware of that, right? Yeah. You knew that if the Jews get into that land, there will be peace on earth. When the Jews regain the Holy Land. But there is no peace on earth right now. There's third world war is brewing. So they can't be the real Jews, man.
Hold on, brother. I want to say one thing because I want to, go into what we was talking about earlier before about the elites on how they know if we wake up to the truth. And then this is it right here. This is 1 Kings 8, verse 47. Yet if they shall bethink themselves in the land, whither they were carried captives, and repent, and make supplication unto thee in the land of them that carried them captives, saying, we have sinned, and have done perversely, we have committed wickedness, and so return unto thee with all their heart, and with all their soul, in the land of their enemies, which led them away captive, which we're talking about now, and pray unto thee towards the land which thou gavest unto their fathers, the city which thou hast chosen, and the house which I have built for thy name. Then hear thou their prayer and their supplication in heaven, thy dwelling place, and maintain their cause, and forgive thy people that have sinned against thee, and all their transgressions, in other words, sin, wherein they have transgressed against thee, and give them compassion before them who carried them captive, that they may have compassion on them. For they be thy people and thine inheritance, which thou broughtest forth out of Egypt, from the midst of the furnace of iron. Right, the point, that thine eye may be open unto the supplication of thy servant, and unto the supplication of thy people Israel, to hearken unto them, and know that they call for unto thee. Okay, so in other words, the Lord will be open up to their prayer and take them from where they've been scattered from, and end their power altogether.
So if I say something,
That's what they fear the most.
are you from India or Pakistan?
I'm from India, but born and raised here. We live outside now.
But there's
I'm from Pakistan and I've lived there since my teenage.
okay, because in India, the Gujarat area, you have our people, they're called cities. Some of them look like you.
Cities or cities?
No, cities, S-I-D-D-I-S. And then in Pakistan, they got some as well. And your people treat them very badly, man. They went to a film crew and they asked one, he looked like a West Indian, like, what's it like to live there? And he just started crying. He couldn't even go on with that. So that's
people that have darker skin.
yeah, the darker skin, they're called cities.
We have in Balochistan, we have the majority of the people living over there who look exactly like you.
Yeah.
But we don't have any problem with them.
Okay.
They make us very well. To be honest with you, they produce some of our. I know Pakistani football team is not very famous, but the local, they play the best football.
Best football, Jakes, man. Israelites were scattered everywhere because the Arabs they trade
Bro,
first.
I have
Under the curses.
on a personal level. I'm not going to talk about my country or my city or anybody.
Yeah.
I have love for black people, white people, orange, blue, whichever color you are. For me, it's about your personality. It's not about what color you are. Baby. I can be looking. I get tan very quick. You understand? So I could be black in summer and I could be brown in bloody winter. You understand? So, so for me, I think that everything that because we all got same number of eyes, same number of ears, teeth, everything we all exactly the same.
Yeah.
So
And but even animals have 2 eyes and 2 ears.
yeah, we are animals, bro. Who said we are not animals? We are animals. The only difference between an animal and us is the brain. That is all.
Animals got brain.
In the Bible, it says the difference between animal and a human is we have soul. And they say that animals don't have
They have
soul.
soul. Well, we can think, we can interact,
Right?
we can build.
That's what I have a religious family. They told me that no, animals don't have to go. There must be. When you look at their eyes, if you look at a dog's eyes, you see pain and feeling, right? So there must be a soul in there.
The Bible says their soul goeth downwards and humans go up.
Even a plant that can move and, you know,
It grows.
I don't know about
It
soul.
dies.
It's something deep. Spirit.
And I think the impartiality between people is only linked with more politics between the countries.
I
You know,
think
I
it's
could
more,
be living in Pakistan even now, for example, and you could be living in, I don't know, some other country, but I would hate you. Why? I haven't even met you, I've never spoken to you, I've never interacted with you. I would hate you only because of what the media is going to show me.
or
You understand?
you can say that, but then it's also the reason why people are discriminate is for racial survival. For your own genetic survival, you're gonna say, listen, we can't intermarry with you because that would mean that what would happen to us? You know what I'm saying? So it's not even a thing where, hey, it's just to do with survival. You know what I'm saying? I can't have my daughter marry one of your men because that means he would inherit our land. And that would mean we have nothing left. So we can't allow that. Not the fact that we don't hate you, this is how it is. That's how things was done in ancient times. It had nothing to do with hate. It was a survival. And really competition too. Because say if I live in Africa, right? You live in Saudi Arabia. My land is full of materials, precious substances and stuff. And your land most likely doesn't. You as a man, you're gonna compete. You want your quality of life. You want a quality of life for your people. So you're gonna come in and invade my land to take over my territory. It was all territorial. You know what I'm saying? That's why
That would be a
racists
different man. That would not be me. If it was me, I would do trade with you, bro. I would
but say
make
if you
money
have
like
nothing
that.
to trade with, you're gonna have no other
I
choice.
have
but to
oil
take-
in Saudi Arabia. Then.
Like Esau,
What
the white man, he had nothing. So he had no other choice but to
that's
go around the
true.
world taking.
I get your point, of course.
Where are you guys from, though, actually, originally?
What did we fought?
No, where are you from?
Oh, where are we from? Originally, ancient times. Go back. Yeah, originally we're the Israelites.
That's who we are. It's not a church there. So they're teaching freedom. Some people are waking up, but the majority they're not.
So I've never actually heard of this perspective ever
he's the
before.
former
So it's something new for me.
New, isn't it?
But this is worldwide. It's all over the world.
It is.
Yeah.
Go close eye.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Okay. A couple of moments. It says, I got a precept too.
Yeah, that's it.
Right, you can elaborate on that. This is Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 8. It says, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
Read that again.
Yeah, it says, this is Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 8. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance.
Right, so you're right. God didn't create the nations, different nations of people. Right, but he divided the nations. It says that the Most High divided.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You know, for Cain, Abel, their sons.
Yeah, the lineage. Yeah, that's what you're saying. Yeah.
All right, but the Most High did create different nations, but he divided them. So he created this. He created discrimination. The warfare didn't come from man. The Most High created mankind to be that way. That's why he created different species and genetic. Go ahead.
It says, when he separated the sons of Adam, and he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people, and Jacob is the lot of his inheritance.
Right, so God inherited us. All right, the Lord inherited us as his chosen people. All right, and even in the animal world, animals stay with their own species. Elephants stay with elephants. Lions stay with lions. You're never gonna see a lion say, "Ooh," you know. That looks like a nice elephant. I wonder what our children will do. No, but you ever have a wonderful and big ears.
If a lion from Africa see a lion from India, they will.
They'll fight.
They'll fight. They'll fight.
No, a male lion and a female lion.
I've seen it too.
They see, and there's no other lions. They're from another country. They look.
Yeah, there's people lying because
Right. But no, listen, there's different species of people, of humans. Like you're another species of human. I'm a one species.
Species are very specific.
Yeah, you understand? That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm like animals, there's different species of animals. They're all animals, but they're different species. And they all stay with their own species. You're never gonna see a hyena mixing around with I don't know, like a ant or something like that.
Right.
You know, they stay with their own kind. That's just the way they do it. That's just how they've been created. There's nothing wrong with it. That's just how God created.
Also, what I read
I gotta say this, but I gotta say this. Now, I was looking at something on the YouTube, right? And this was probably about last year or so. And do you know you got various different lines on the earth? Okay, you have the Mercury line, you have the Asiatic line, and basically all of these lines, they were in this one den together. And do you know, in due time, a couple of seconds, all of them lines was fighting each other because they saw that they was different. And this is within one species line. Okay, so if you put the Mercury line along with the Asia or the African line, they're gonna fight. So it's the same thing with mankind.
They're no different to human beings then.
Yes.
This is what we're doing.
Yes.
But is it mankind's nature to compete with another man?
Yeah, it's not wrong.
Is this the way? Is this like a testosterone ego thing, man? To man to just compete and to dominate.
What's your name, brother?
To take your territory.
What's your name?
My name is Dave.
Dave?
Yeah,
Do you know that you and me, we are related?
How are we related?
We are.
How? In what way are we related? Trying to be funny.
No, I'm not trying to be funny. We are relatives from our generations and generations, because everything started from Adam.
Okay.
We're all the sons and children of that is one person.
They're not the first guys that come up and say this.
And that's what I'm saying. You know, like when they divided the lands, everyone was like the same. When you go to a hotter country, your body will produce more.
Even an ants, man.
And like, for example, I
Species of ants together, they gonna fight.
And like really like skin.
They gonna fight.
I went to Dubai. I'm dark skinned. Yeah. But when I'm
So
here,
I think it's
I'm
just a
light
matter
skinned.
of where you live. That's all. Your color of your skin depends where you live.
I'm trying to cigarette.
The best way he said, can I bring a precept out, yeah? It's 2nd Ezra 6, and that's about 54, and it says, after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all.
So we all come from Adam. Right, we understand this. We all come from Adam.
Yeah.
Right, but he said that we're all related.
Yeah.
Well, let's find out.
It says, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen.
So all right, so God has a chosen people.
It says, all these are spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes.
So the world was made for our sakes. He said, you made the world for our sakes. Go ahead.
He says, as for the other people which also come of Adam,
As for the other people that come of Adam, go ahead.
thou hast said that they are nothing,
He said that they are nothing. Go ahead.
but be like unto spittle, and has likened them, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
Right, so the Most High considers the other nations, that a lot of our nation, as being like unto spittle, like as a drop that falleth from a bucket. Meaning the Lord, his whole mindset is towards us. He doesn't regard the other nations of people. That's why he's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He's not the God of anybody else. You know? Go ahead.
Another precept, I like it. It's Sirach 33 and 10, and it says, and all men are from the ground,
Right.
and Adam was created of the earth.
Right, so Adam was created of the earth. So obviously he was a melanated man. He must have been a very dark in complexion. And very powerful in body stature. Because he was one of the first men created. Go ahead.
And it says, in much knowledge the Lord have divided them, and made their ways diverse.
So he made their ways, he made the ways of the people, their ways diverse. That's why different people, they don't all have the same traditions, the same language, the same cultures, the same beliefs, the same dress codes, the same what's this word? The same a sense of humor,
Same vibe. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Everything about us is different. Everything about us is different.
And you know too, brother, even amongst the, I don't cut you, brother. I gotta say one thing. Yeah, hold on, my man. I just want to just say one thing, just one thing. It's even amongst all of us, all of the nations, right? Like even like down here in London, this is what you consider the multicultural area, right?
Yeah.
But amongst London alone, you have, for example, you have the Turkish street that's down there. You also have, let's just say,
Eastern Europeans.
right? The Eastern Europeans, they play work over there.
Stamford Hill.
And then, right, and in Stamford Hill, you have the so-called Jews that are there, and even amongst the Indian people, they have their own little segment area. So even though we're
Chinese.
right, own area. So even though we live in a multiculturalistic area,
So called.
a lot of us keep together because that's how the law is.
Yeah, that's how the law is.
You know, because you said that we all have blood in our veins, even our DNA is different.
Yeah, this.
You know what I'm saying? Everything about us, our sense of humor is different. The things you might laugh at, probably not the things I laugh at. The things I laugh at, probably not the things that you laugh at. You know, our sense of humor is different. You know what I'm saying? What else? Our cultures are different. Our languages are different. We made our ways.
Our food is different. Yeah, our food is different.
Our food is different. So our mannerisms is most likely different.
You should wrap this and spread it to the world.
Oh, look at that.
We're rapping now.
Of Tupac.
You're rapping right now.
We don't like Tupac. We don't like Tupac. Not up here.
Let's go up to me. You like his music?
But it's good music.
Don't like none of them rappers, man. They don't compare.
No, but it's
They
like
don't
what your
compare to
brother was
us.
saying. He said that the music, the system is controlling. They're saying, talk about riches, talk about money, sidetrack them, talk about the bad things, so they will. And they assassinate a lot of artists like Michael Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Which are going to expose them. Jimi Hendrix, Bob Marley.
That's another
People have
part.
power.
Yeah.
You put this into something, you have to be like Tupac, but it could be very, people connect with that.
Yeah,
I know you say it, I know you say it.
We could, but the main music that we're meant to be doing right now is singing this song, this new song. That's right. Because this is the main thing. This is really, that's why we're out here devoting our time.
And we're glad they're killed because they wasn't representing their God, our God. That's why I'm glad. Personally, I'm glad they're all dead.
Yeah.
Fuck them, man.
Proverbs.
Listen, so wrong.
No, he goes to Proverbs 18:21.
The priest of the
It tells you what death and life is in the power of the tongue.
Yeah, the what?
So they're rapping. Death.
God allowed them to be killed because they never come under their power. You know, Thor, you heard about Thor, the superhero?
Yeah.
Without his hammer, he's nothing, yeah? Without our God, we're nothing. We ain't got no power. That's why they will be killed easily.
Hey, that's what the Lord is walking us up to know. That if we disobey Him, we ain't got nothing, man.
Hey, bring us love, peace, and power, and then we'll shut down.
Alright, this is Sirach 13 and 16, and it says, all flesh consorteth according to kind, and a man will cleave to his like.
A man will cleave unto his like. You're naturally attracted to your own species. You're not attracted to other species.
I am.
Because you're not.
He is.
You're black women.
You know what I mean when I say that? You know what I mean when I say that? You're natural.
No, I'm not trying to be funny. I actually am. I went to Uganda 4 times last year.
Say what? What did you say?
He went to Uganda 4 times. That's good.
Yeah, because a lot of guys for like an Indian Muslim community, when you're in school, the ones that grew up here, when you're in school, you mess around with white girls and different women from everywhere else. But then when you grow up and it's time to marry, you go get yourself an Indian woman, a woman from your own thing, from your own country.
You don't think that everybody's your people. You don't like you're blind, you're colorblind. You stay with people that you know are your people. You can identify your own people.
The only reason we mix anyways because we're already mixed. How we're supposed to be divided, like the scripture said. There won't be no group.
There won't be no mixing. I'm very ready. You know what I'm saying?
That's why like a woman, like you said, an Indian woman or Pakistani woman that marries like a white man, most likely she's either the guy or the woman, she's sort of like this distances herself from our own community.
Disconnected.
Herself from our own community. That's why now she stayed with that guy. But more than likely, when you get married, you either your parents they choose you a wife from your own people.
And usually it's for financial reasons. You marry outside your nation for the financial reasons.
You don't bring a white girl and have an Indian wedding with her, man. Most of the people will look at you.
If I had to marry a dark girl, I wouldn't mind.
You're the man.
I would not mind.
Okay. But they don't say
On a natural scale, that's not how it goes. You know, 'cause you're gonna be kind of cautious of what your family's gonna think. You know what I mean? So,
No, my family.
You might have you might have your preference. You have your preference.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like on a typical level,
Yeah.
stay according to your own kind.
Yeah.
Like say,
Mentality,
for example,
yeah.
say if a race war happened in society, what are you gonna do?
Oh,
you
yeah,
ain't gonna say,
bring
let me
that
stay
up.
with black people. The black people will turn around and say, you gotta go stay with your own, because that's what's gonna happen. If there's a race riot, people will straight away forget about all the same. You're gonna go to your own people. That's what's gonna happen.
Straight like that.
If there was a war going down between your country and another country, who you gonna go back? You gonna go to your own?
Of course, I'll back up my country.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean
That's
that doesn't mean that if I was involved with his country, but we are the same color. We understand, but I would still support my country because that's my country. That's all. Not because what they look like.
Same people.
But again, to be honest with you, we live in our countries. But as I said to you, we live in our bubble. Once we get out of that, you know, that we know other people. We know everybody is nice. You understand? I go to other countries. I meet people. I know everybody on a normal level. They are very good people. It's only the political war we are fighting. Only the media war that we are fighting. Apart from that, everybody in the world is a nice person.
I don't know what you said.
Bring that last one out.
It's Isaiah 13 and 14, and it says, and it shall be as a chest roll and as a sheep that no man taketh up. He says, they shall every man turn to his own people and flee every one to his own land.
So it's a never, no matter how much you say that everyone's a nice person, that's prophecy. That's something that will happen. In the time to come, everybody will go to their own people. That's how it's going to be. That's how it's going to come down. That's the way how it always should have been ever since the beginning of time. But with that, we're going to say all praises.
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Yahushai,
Yahushai.
Ba'ashem, Wa'Rakam.
Right.
Shalom. Shalom.
I'm gonna check it out on YouTube anyway.
Yeah,
Thank you,
no
brother.
worries.
You're
Yes. This way.
Bye.
Thank you, brother.
Bye.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, bro.